Hey everybody, welcome back to One Seed, One World. Today we're going to talk about growing spinach and a little bit about the history of spinach. One thing that I often see when it comes to questions from new gardeners is, hey, what should I grow? What's an easy plant that I can grow if I'm just getting started gardening? Now, the first answer to that should always be grow what you like to eat, because if you grow a bunch of stuff that looks pretty but you hate eating it, then there's not really any point. You're gonna give up on gardening if you do that. But if you like leafy greens, spinach is a great one to get started with. You can start it early in the season because it's a cool weather crop. It's pretty forgiving with the planting and growing and whatnot. It can get a few diseases, but generally it's pretty resistant to most diseases. You don't normally have too many problems with that. And it's a cut and come again type of plant, so you'll get multiple harvests off of the same row of plants or same pot, however you choose to grow them. So I would recommend growing spinach if you are a first-time gardener. Now, what kind of spinach to grow? There are hundreds of varieties these days of spinach. They kind of fall into three different categories. There is flat leaf spinach, which is kind of what you see in the store most often. Then there's Savoy spinach, which is like the crinkly kind, like I have here. And then there is also like a semi-Savoy, which is kind of in between the two. The reason why you see the flat leaf most often in the grocery stores is because it tends to grow a little faster, and it's also easier to clean, because sometimes you'll get grit or sand on your lettuce, and so, on your spinach. So when they're packing that for stores, it's better for having flat leaf because it's easier to clean off to get ready to ship. But you can choose from many in your garden. Now, there's all different kinds. Some of them are more heat tolerant, some of them are more cold tolerant, some are more disease resistant from things like downy mildew is one of the things that can pop up from time to time. But they're all fairly similar. I'll throw a few of the names up here on the screen that you can take a look at, but just be aware that there's hundreds more than just these few that I'm listing here. And then there's also something like Malabar spinach, which is not even a true spinach, but has similar types of characteristics and flavors. So those are different things that you can look at. Now, spinach has been around for a couple thousand years or more, and I think the general consensus is that it originated in Persia, and then as it followed the trade routes, it moved on to India and Nepal, and then from Nepal it went to China, and in fact in China they referred to it as Persian green. And then, as trade routes go and the popularity of it grew, it moved along and headed on into Europe and Italy. It's believed that the Saracens brought it to Italy, I think. And then Catherine de Medici? Yeah, not getting that name right. But she came to France and married King Henry II of France. And when she came, she was a big lover of spinach, and she loved spinach so much that she brought her own cooks to make her favorite spinach dishes. And all these types of spinach dishes, she named them a la Florentine, which was a reference to her beloved home city of Florence back in Italy. And so that is why you still see a la Florentine type dishes in restaurants, or even recipes that you might cook yourself, like spinach Florentine. So there's a little bit of that for you. It was popular to grow in the United States early on, like Thomas Jefferson grew it in his gardens. But there for a while, in the early 1900s, it kind of lost some popularity there was a cartoon that came out in the New Yorker that kind of had the line that said, "I say it's spinach and I say to hell with it," which basically people would refer to spinach as like a bunch of nonsense. So it was another word for thinking that something was nonsense. Ah, that's spinach. So it didn't have a whole lot of popularity there in the early late 1920s, but then around 1929, Popeye the Sailor Man came out and became a popular cartoon. And of course, Popeye got strong to beat Brutus and save Olive by eating his cans of spinach. And right around that same time that Popeye started gaining popularity, the Bird's Eye Foods started releasing frozen foods for sale in grocery stores and whatnot, and spinach was one of their first offerings. And so between Bird's Eye and the Popeye cartoon, I think within just a couple of years, the popularity of spinach had risen by about 30%, and really it's continued to grow. I think it even grew had like a 60% rise in popularity and in sales all the way up through like 2007. So that's just some spinach facts for you there. Now, planting spinach, you can start it inside if you want, but you really don't have to, because this is a cold tolerant crop. Now, I'm not talking about like freezing, but it can take frost. And you can plant it out really early in the spring. It might be a little slow growing at first if it's too cold out. I had that here. It took a little while for mine to take off, but once it did, now I'm out here harvesting every few days. So you want to get it started early because it is not heat tolerant for the most part. What happens when it gets too hot out, like by midsummer, this will bolt and go to seed very fast. And then once it goes to flower and seed, you don't want to eat it because then it gets bitter. But the good thing is around mid to late August, you can then plant it again for fall and into winter harvest. And they say that even with your fall spinach crop, that it can taste better than your spring crop because the temperatures are more consistent. Like right now, we're going from like almost 90 degrees today, and then it's only supposed to be like, I think, 64 degrees this weekend. So there's a lot of fluctuations, and that can mess with some of the flavors in the plant as they're trying to adjust and protect themselves. So, but you can grow it both spring and in the fall, and you'll get lots of joy out of it, lots of good eating. And especially if you're going to freeze it, if you want to preserve it and save it for eating later, you will want to basically wash off your leaves after you harvest them, blanch them for about 2 minutes in boiling water, and then dry them off, and then put them in a vacuum seal bag, and then you'll have your own spinach for over the winter when you can't grow any. But you do know, like when most of you know, that when you cook spinach, you might start out with something like this, but by the time you cook it, it's like about that big. It shrinks down a lot. So you need a lot of spinach to make it worth it. But that's why it's great that when you can harvest spinach, it is a cut and come again type of spinach, or type of plant that you can just keep harvesting off of, and you'll get new leaves every few days. You can just use a pair of scissors or a sharp kitchen knife and just trim at your stem and then cut them off. You want to leave about 1/3 of the leaves on the plant so it has enough leaves on there to get the photosynthesis to grow more leaves for you. So don't, like cut down the whole plant. Start with the older leaves that are normally going to be farther on the outside. And then there. Just trim around and leave some of those smaller center leaves to harvest later. And you will continue to get plenty of good eating spinach if you harvest this way, because it'll just keep putting off new leaves. Okay, so that was a little bit about spinach, when to grow it, how to harvest it, and a bit about the history. So I hope you found that information helpful and interesting. If you've grown spinach before, put down in the comments below. Tell me what kind of spinach that you have grown in the past and how it did for you. Any likes, comments, subscribes, shares are all very appreciated and help the channel very much. But I appreciate that you guys are here hanging out with me again today. And I hope that whatever's going on in your neck of the woods is working out fantastic for you, and that, you know, everything is growing fantastic and that you are getting some good leafy greens. So we'll see you all again soon. Have a great day. Namaste.